Alright guys, welcome back to DisFellaJMO's Productions. I have something new here. I'll explain real quick. So, we did have a franchise with the Seattle Mariners. I don't want to say I got burnt out on it, and I'm just gonna throw it to the wayside. I'm not doing that. I'm simply just gonna start another one. I'm gonna have two here. I'm gonna still do the Seattle Mariners franchise, still post some videos, but it's kind of gonna be mixed here. I'm gonna have two teams. I mean, with just the Mariners, it was just, I mean, everyday Mariners, everyday Mariners, everyday Mariners, everyday Seattle Mariners. I mean, I kind of want two teams here to mix it up, to do different moves, to have different rosters, to have different philosophies on how to do things. So with that being said, let's welcome, or I don't know if that's the right thing to say. Let's introduce, there we go. Let's introduce you guys to the second DisFellaJMO's Productions franchise with the Atlanta Braves. So, as you guys can see, yearly goal, finish over 500, contract goal, reach postseason, team budget, $119.5 million, team rankings, god-awful, 29th, almost last in everything. Our pitching is terrible. So, I like the Braves. I think they have a lot of good prospects. I think they're going to be a pretty good team to a very solid team in about 5 years or so, somewhere in there, maybe 3 years at the soonest. I think they have a lot of good pieces to build around, and I will get into that right now as I introduce here. We're going to go ahead and turn GM contracts off for this video, or for this franchise, just because, you know, the Braves might take some time here. So, we're going to go ahead and turn those contracts off for right now. I can't really remember. I think I left that off in my last franchise. CPU trading on, ignore budgets off, force trades off, and designated hitter off. We're going to play with all the same settings that I did, or that I played with in our last franchise, which is the Seattle Mariners. So if you're still looking to see what those settings are, just go back to my last franchise, the Seattle Mariners, and check them out. I'm not really going to show you guys how I'm setting them. So let's go ahead and introduce this roster here. Best player on the team is Ender Inciarte, coming over from the Diamondbacks, being his first full year with Atlanta here, coming off a great year with Arizona. Hopefully we'll get that same production from him. At an 84 overall, Freddie Freeman at an 83, Matt Kemp at an 83, Nick Markakis at an 82. So as you can see, there's some mixed ages in here. We got Brzezinski at 39, Markakis and Kemp at 32 and 31 respectively, Tyler Flowers at 30, and Omar Infante at 34. Let's go over some pitchers here. As you can see, really just Tehran, Matt Wisler, and Aaron Blair, Roberto Hernandez, Joel De La Cruz are really the only guys over 70. So that might be our starting rotation right there. In the bullpen, Paco Rodriguez, 72, Shea Simmons, 71, Jim Johnson, 70, Chris Withrow, 69. He's pitched with the Dodgers. Pretty solid numbers with the Dodgers. Vizcaino coming over from the Cubs a couple years ago, actually. I think he had Tommy John. He actually missed 2 years. Still 25 years old. Hard thrower. At catcher, Flowers and Brzezinski. Anthony Recker, too, at 32 years old. Might play a part in this organization. Freddie Freeman at first base. That's really it there. Omar Infante at second, along with Jace Peterson and Daniel Castro. Chase Dearno? I think that's how you say it. Dearno. That's really it at second base there. We also have Reed Brignac. Kind of a veteran here. Seems like he's been in the league for years. At third base, Gordon Beckham, Real Ruiz, actually I should say. Other than that, so here we go at our shortstop position here. Here's our two big prospects. Albies and, of course, Dansby Swanson. So, I don't know how to say that guy's name. On MLB.com, he's just Ozzy. So, I'm just going to leave him at Ozzy. So, if I'm just saying Ozzy, Albies, please know I'm talking about this guy right here. And Mike Aviles. I'm just awful with names right now. I apologize. I am sorry. In left field, we have Donis Garcia, Jeff Francoeur, and Matt Tuiasopo. He's played with Detroit and Seattle there, too. In center, of course, we have Ender Inciarte and Malix Smith with Emilio Bonifacio. And in right field, Matt Kemp with Nick Markakis. So that's really it. I'm going to go ahead and introduce some of our prospects here. Number 1 prospect, Dansby Swanson, of course. Number 2, Ozzy Albies. They both play shortstop. I think Albies will kind of be converted over to second base here to have Dansby Swanson as our shortstop of the future. Third best prospect, Sean Newcomb, left-handed pitcher. Fourth best prospect, Colby Allard, left-handed pitcher as well. Fifth best, Ian Anderson, right-handed pitcher. Sixth, Mike Soroka, right-handed pitcher. Seventh, Joey Wentz, left-handed pitcher. He was actually in our last franchise with the Mariners. Number 8, Kevin Matian at shortstop. Number 9, Travis Demerte at second base. Number 10, Tuki Toussaint, right-handed pitcher. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. It might be Toussaint. If I am mispronouncing that, I apologize. And number 11, Max Farid, left-handed pitcher. So that's really our prospects. Those are the guys I really want to build around. So I picked the Braves because they're very interesting. They have lots of pieces. They have some older guys, and then they have some guys who I can really build around and create, an absolute powerhouse, I believe, with the Atlanta Braves. So I'm just going to say now, this first season with the Braves, there might be some gameplay and games, but on the other hand, it's going to be an awful year with the Braves. I don't even know if we're going to win 60 games. So I don't want to sit around and play a bunch of games just to win 60 on the season. So I don't know how many total games you guys are going to see in this series. I'm shooting for hopefully a couple a month, but depending on how we do, that might be brought down. So I don't want to get into too much here talking about the Atlanta Braves. I really do think that there is a lot we can do with this team. They have some really good pieces to build around. Inciarte, Freddie Freeman, both 25 and 26 years old. Teheran, great pitcher. I've always had great success with them in this game with a great contract, as you see there. Really up to $6 million for 5 years. Vizcaíno in the close as our closer, 25 years old. We have some old catchers. We have some great young pitchers. I mean, 23, 23, 26, 25, 26, 24. So we have a lot of youth. As you see, Sean Newcomb right there at 22 years old. John Gant, 23 years old, 24. I mean, look at all these. They're all so young. They're all babies. Look at them. Really, the oldest is 26. And then a 35-year-old in our starting rotation. So great youth. And the bullpen, same thing. Youth. Really just a 30, 32, and another 32-year-old as far as age goes. Like I said, at the catcher position, we are old. Tyler Flowers at 30 years old. We also have a 27 and 28-year-old down in the farm system. Freddie Freeman, hoping to build around him. Omar Infante, batting at age 34. Gordon Beckham, 29. I mean, look at the shortstop position here. I mean, with Swanson and Albies, 22 and 19, they're going to be the future of this franchise. In the outfield, we're kind of old, really, besides center field. So anyway, that's really an overview of the roster. Let's go ahead and get into spring training here. As like I said, I'm gonna set the settings on my own. You guys saw them in my last series with the Mariners. So if you're curious as to what they are, go in the Mariners series and check out one of the first couple videos. It might be the first or second video. I don't know, but it's in there. I know it's in there. And then, actually, let's look at the coaches. I forgot to. So they still have Freddie Gonzalez. They actually fired him in real life as the manager. Hitting coach Larry Holland, C attributes, and Freddie Gonzalez is C attributes as well. Pitching coach Roger McDowell, 6. I can't talk today, guys. As usual. C attributes. Terry Pendleton at first base, B attributes. Bo Porter at third base, B attributes, and our farm director Jared Christensen with a B attributes. So really just these 3 guys up at the top have C's. So depending on how we do and how, I mean, Freddie Gonzalez has a 4-year contract here, so let's see how things play out as far as that goes. Other than that, let's go ahead and assign the sponsorships here. So I'm just going to do what I usually do. Rawlings Gold to the news ticker to the replay. I'm going to go ahead and do Under Armour. And then as far as the batter walk-up goes, I'm going to go ahead and do Franklin, 20,000 per win. So as you see, some pretty good sponsorships that I like to use, that I always use, superstitious. So that's really it for the introduction video and the Meet the Braves video. Let's go ahead and get into this season. It's going to be a long one, but I think this club and this organization has a very, very bright future ahead of them, but it's going to take a couple years in order to get there. So that's really it, like I said, for the first video, episode 1 of an Atlanta Braves franchise. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in episode 2 starting right now.